I think Bowser in Project Plus, you know, fucking 2024, is an interesting character to say the least. There are a lot of things that are good about him, a lot of things that have improved about him, you know, since Project M, and you know, he's overall a way more well-rounded character. He did lose a bit of his strengths, and I will go over them briefly. I don't have like a full change list from like 2.0 to like current Project Plus, but I mean I've been playing Project M since Project 2.0 came out, so I've seen all the iterations of Bowser. Bowser was a character that used to, you know, have a lot of things, I guess, that I think the developers were like, yeah, we don't want characters to have this overall. And you know, like for example, he had a lot of armor all over the fucking place, you know. Nair had stronger armor, I think Downer had armor, I think Backer maybe had some armor, something like that. And you know, overall, like, Downtilt had armor. That's one that I saw that they removed in Project Plus. Then like, your armor on crouch was, you know, much stronger than expected, because I think they didn't properly account for, like, you know, the effects of crouch canceling on knockback. So even though Bowser was supposed to have, you know, a good armor on crouch, but you know, nothing spectacular, it actually ended up being very good. Let's say he had like, I don't know, like 50 armor or something. I don't remember how the stats work or calculated. But like, because crouch cancel is already like negating a lot of your knockback, that 50 armor or whatever goes a long way, and made it so that you could like survive some crazy shit. Like you could get kneed at like, I think at like 40% or 50%. You could get kneed by Falcon, and you will tank that actually. It was insane. And you know, I think the armor on F Smash, I don't remember if it was super armor right away, but I think it was maybe like heavy armor right away. They changed that, so the current system you have to charge at least halfway. Hold on, I got a hitbox display. Collision display? No, I think hitbox is fine. So right now, oh wait, can I guess okay, there we go. So right now it's quite substantial armor, but it's not, you know, it's not insane. I mean, so how it's displayed in the debug mode, it's that the, you know, the stronger or more opaque that the blue color of the armor is, you know, the stronger it is. So if you look at up smash, you can see that it's quite light. It's not as such a deep shade of like blue or whatever. But if you do forward smash, suddenly you're seeing like it's a lot of a I mean, what will you call them? Like a more opaque or like stronger shade. Like compare, you know, how much color you can still see. Like you can still like pick up his like hair, the hair color in up smash. But if you do forward smash, it's like, I don't know, it becomes like a lot stronger. But that's basically how armor is displayed. I think, you know, outside of charging your smashes, I think side B is still the, I mean, sorry, down B. So I think still the strongest armor. Like that shit is insane, right? Bowser's just blue. And like, you can survive some crazy stuff with that. Like, I don't know, maybe you can survive like a Marth tipper to like 120% or something. I mean, I'm not checking, but that's like, I mean, I already have a vibe for like how much I will be able to like withstand and shit. But I don't know, he has that, it's pretty cool. And as for the smashes, if you charge them, well, I think with up smash and down smash you have to charge them fully to get the super armor. That's where it's like, yeah, it's just like there's not even any transparency, it's just pure blue. and that is super armor, and you cannot hit him at all. I mean, you can hit him, but he won't get any knockback, right? Like, grab super armor. And as for forward smash, I mean, you can charge it fully, but you don't actually have to charge it fully. You actually only have to charge it like halfway through, which is interesting. I don't know if it's because like the armor value reaches like a threshold, and then now it's super armor, you know. I feel like that's probably what's happening. I don't think it's like special coded to be like, oh, if you've charged already like half of it. I think it's just like it adds more armor the more you charge it, and after a certain point that armor becomes super armor. Those used to be like, I think forward smash had very heavy armor. I don't think it ever had like super armor while uncharged, but it did have very heavy armor. Or maybe like it did have super armor or something, I don't know. But like they nerfed that. They generally nerfed a lot of his armor because they thought, hey, we don't like having a character that like whose playstyle is basically, oh, hit me? Or like, I think the design philosophy is like, armor in general is just like not a particularly healthy mechanic. I mean, I don't know how much I agree with that, but like, I mean, it is what it is, and they made changes, right? Nair comes out, I think frame 5, yeah, it comes out frame 5 before, and I mean, Nair has armor, right? That armor on Nair used to be a lot stronger. Not only that, it came out in like frame 3. The hitbox itself, like the damaging part of the move, didn't come out until frame 5, but there was a point where the armor itself will come out on frame 3. So it was like being like Luigi, you know, but like much stronger, because unless the other character that was comboing you like had like true combos like off every hit, you just had to find that like 3-window opening where you could like put out Nair, and it was super strong and it will like break the combo. And I think they didn't like that. They were like, nah. I mean, if Bowser gets hit, he should be punished. Like, I think Bowser suffers from being like a big, stocky character with like slow moves and shit. In a game like Project M, which of course is based off Melee, but and I mean that's how they made it work in like the earlier versions. They were like, well, we'll just give him a lot of armor so that he can more or less, you know, keep up. And old Bowser was actually like a much laggier character. I think right now his jump squat is 5 frames. I think it used to be 7, and of course in Melee it's 9. It's absolutely disgusting. But that used to be a lot slower. His frame data in general is also a lot faster right now in Project Plus as compared to like 2.0, Project 2.0 or whatever. And I mean, every patch they began to like shift him away from like being a armor fucking powerhouse and actually giving him, you know, viable tools to be able to keep up with the rest of the cast. Because I mean, if you really consider, you know, Bowser's aerials, I mean, Nair is pretty fast, but I mean, it's not like a big range move. It's very useful, don't get me wrong, it's just, I mean, it's not like a very jack of all trades fucking tool. I mean, it has its purposes. And you know, forwarder, which is like the next best move, his next best aerial, I mean, how fast does it come out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean 8, but that hitbox is like fucking above his shoulder, like that's silly. What was that, 9 frames? Yeah. It's like, I think that used to be slower. I think his backer used to be slower. I think upper is, it's fast enough. I think they made up smash faster. I think they made down smash and up smash faster. I think they also made like, they made forward smash faster. And I mean, I'm talking in very broad terms here, you know, comparing to the Melee, but also early PM. forward smash, for being such a strong move, I mean, it's relatively fast, really. I mean, maybe if you look at the frame data, you may not get that impression. I mean, how fast is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. So let's say frame 32. I mean, that's a very slow move. I mean, you're not gonna like flow into that like supernaturally. When you forward smash, you're gonna get it off like a read. But like, it's one of like the strongest, you know, punishers in the game. It's super strong, and I mean, he moves backwards so that when you launch it, you can like just barely move out of the way if your opponent is like approaching with like an aerial or something. And even if you don't necessarily like time it right, the super armor actually comes out a couple of frames before the actual hitbox, and it's a very strong armor value, so it's landable. I mean, it's not like free or guaranteed. You pretty much still have to get it like 100% off a read, but it's viable to use it, you know, and to like have it in the back of your mind and be ready to punish opponents' mistakes with it. It's a very strong fucking move. And then, so I think I talked about jump squat. I think I talked about how they made it so that his jump squat is now 5 frames, which I believe should tie Falco, Ganondorf, I don't know who else it ties. But I mean, it's not blazing fast, but competitive. I mean, better than 7, better than 9. One very unique property that Bowser has is his, I guess you could call tournament winner. He's like jump from ledge. You can react. I think I learned this the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if I can do it in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think that's 6 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's frame 6. It used to be frame 3, so like on frame 4, you can already input like a ledge dash. And it's actually insane how powerful this is. I mean, generally speaking, in Project M, they buffed all of like the tourney winners. Most characters can start hitting at about here, at about this height of their ledge jump. I mean, Bowser can do it so much faster than everyone else. And if you're really frame perfect about the ledge grab and then the jump, and then you input like something, you know, I think you have like 15 frames of Galint, quote unquote, which is a fucking ton, you know. So here I'm doing an up smash, and I did a fucking up smash with Galint still. That's insane. I mean, that's basically what Fox gets in Melee, right? I mean, I don't know how much he gets here in Project Plus, but I mean, that's fucking insane, right? And basically, you can do all of Bowser's options out of Galint, except maybe, I think the hardest one to pull off is up smash, and maybe F tilt. Nah, F tilt is pretty generous still. But they nerfed this. Before it was 4 frames. So frame 3, and then on frame 4 you can already input like the waveland towards the stage. Now it's frame 7. So that's cutting into your Galint frames, because I think you have 30 frames from the moment you grab ledge. So you can barely squeeze out like an up smash. At least the first couple of frames will be covered by the Galint. If you do it like frame perfect, you have like 3 frames of like Galint after the hitbox comes up, which is pretty insane. Like, I do this a lot, and it's still hard, honestly. That's like 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames. I think that's literally like the best up smash from Galint that you can get right now. Before you had like 2 or 3 more frames of leniency. But yeah, that's very strong. And you can do a lot of interesting things with the way Bowser's ledge jump works. You can do, you know, the clear option is this, right? You grab ledge and then you waveland towards the stage, and you have like fucking, I guess technically if you do it frame perfect, you have like, I don't know, like 15 frames of Galint. And I mean, that covers all of Bowser's options except for forward smash, and I guess down B. I think those are the only things that you cannot do out of Galint. Like you can do upper, you can do like ledge jump upper and still be well, that's not Galint, that's just ledge jump vulnerability. You can do fucking Nair, which is like one of my favorite, you know, options because it's so fast, it's so hard to see coming, and you're full invincible. I call it the fucking cannonball. I mean, just look at that, it's beautiful. You can also like, you can also exploit this to, so basically, the coolest thing maybe about Bowser's tournament winner is that you essentially don't run the risk of like SDing, right? So what my inputs look like is that I'm jumping here, and then I'm like just wave landing straight down. My stick is like pointed straight down, and you're not gonna die from that. So you cannot die by doing it straight down, so obviously you cannot die by doing it at an angle either. So it's this very reliable option that is not too hard to pull off, and that safety makes it so that you have more versatility, so that you can feel free to do more things, and, you know, not be afraid of like, you know, SDing because of that. Bowser still has one problem. Well, it's not a problem for me anymore because I've lapped it so much that I rarely get it wrong. I think I have like a 90% success rate. But basically it's, oh my god, the fucking glitch. Basically it's grabbing ledge. Before, so what you could do literally is like, I don't know, let's say you're here, you're shielding, and then you get hit, you up B, and then you can just like grab ledge just by holding like left the whole way. That worked because I was in a very specific distance. That's always gonna ledge grab. But let's say I'm here and I hold left. Well, I die because I don't know. It's just like the properties, I guess, of the up B at that particular frame. But so before you could do that, like you could be here and you could like just hold left, and it will grab ledge. And they removed that. They actually like nerfed it on purpose. And I still don't know why, honestly. I feel like, I mean, Bowser was already fucking struggling as a fucking character, you know, and you're taking away something that I feel is not, it's not very toxic like armor or like other stuff that they nerfed that I'm gonna talk about later. But I don't know, it seemed like a really necessary change. So how do you grab ledge now? There are like 2 or 3 ways to grab ledge. I'm a very big proponent of one, but I'm gonna leave it for last. So I think like the most obvious choices will be, you know, already be facing towards the stage, up B, and then just carefully time your like momentum changes with the control stick so that you fall off the stage as soon as up B is already ending. So if you do that right, you're gonna grab ledge every time. That's fine and all, but it's a bit slow, and it already like needs you to like be in a certain position. I mean, you can like quote unquote roar into doing that, but you know, whatever. But like for me, the annoying thing about this is that you have to be careful. You have to like, I mean, this is a very fast-paced game, and you're certainly being asked to like do something that is very delicate. Not only that, it's also slow because you're banking on on being able to, on basically grabbing ledge on the last frames of your up B. So you have to wait out the full duration for grabbing ledge, actually. So that's why I don't like that, but it's, I mean, it's an option. And another option is, I guess, yeah, I mean, you can basically do it from like a set distance and it's always gonna ledge grab. If you're closer, you just gotta like wiggle the stick carefully so that you go off stage, but you know, you don't go too far off stage and you die. When they changed this, I was honestly frustrated at first, and I didn't like the uncertainty that it brought to my games. So, ironically, what I ended up doing was developing a strategy that is much faster. It doesn't require you to have any particular positioning. It's just like mastering some timing windows. And basically what I do is just get close to ledge and up B, and then use the momentum to grab ledge. So basically I'm doing what Link, say, for instance, can already do. Where you're like
ready, go,
up being, you know, from the ledge and just grabbing the ledge that way. And that's very neat because for one, and there are many ways technically that you can like get on ledge as Bowser, right? There's not just one way. Like let's say, you know, you can also like go off stage. Oh, I messed that one up. But like you can go off stage and side B, and that works. But I don't like it because it's very committal and it leaves you very exposed. Because while you're doing this side B, like you could be getting hit, you know. I don't like it all that much. But this option is fast, and it also gets out an up B like right on ledge. So it covers more options because, you know, if someone's already approaching ledge with a move, two things can happen basically. They can get hit by it, or they can trade with you. But like, and I think there's this technique where you like up B someone just as they are about to hit you. And since you're trading hits with them, that hits them with like the up B, and you're basically actionable right away, you know. So you can like do some pretty sick combos. So this is much faster. It's consistent. Once you get the timing down, it's very hard at first because like you're being asked to like do something that is admittedly a bit frame tight, I guess you could say. But I prefer this 1,000 times more because it brings you down the ledge with a hitbox all the way through. Once you really get down the timing, you have no idea how good this feels because it's like when you do the timing right, it's like you get stuck in that corner of the ledge. You don't like go flying off. Like if you mistime it, you can still, you know, you can still die. But I mean, it's like this thing where you're like always like edging closer to doing it frame perfect, and you're erring on the side of like taking a while or whatever. And of course also like if you're running and you go off the stage, you're gonna do. It's weird to force myself to do it, but basically you're gonna do that right, and it's gonna place you in an awful position. So it's risky, sure, but I like it because it offers more control over your character, and I don't know, I feel like it's just like a very good option. And I mean, there are a lot of more things that I think are worth noting about current Bowser, about old versions of Bowser. Up B is so weak. I mean, in its current state, compared to like how it was like in 2.0, and I think this is really funny because up B in almost every regard is stronger in melee than it is in Project Plus. Like, let's say you have someone at like, I don't know, 80%. Lucario's properties, you know, are a bit like, I don't know, like chic, maybe? Not super heavy, not super floaty. I think, for instance, that will maybe kill in melee. Maybe at like 10% more or 20% more. Generally speaking, up B is much stronger. in Melee, and it was also much stronger in like earlier versions of Project 10. And I think the reason they nerfed it is like basically the same idea that went into like removing his armor. Like basically for a long time, and you could argue maybe still now, Bowser was like an up B fucking machine, right? I mean, up B was such a strong move that it was hard to justify not doing up B. So it degenerated into this stance where like you're basically doing nothing but like trying to bait your opponent to like hitting your shield, and then you up B. And I think there was also like this concern about it being like frustrating for new players. Like Bowser is like the archetypal like fucking noob healer, right? Because someone that doesn't understand that you shouldn't like go in with like a random aerial against Bowser, they're always going to lose. And I think that was literally like one of the reasons that they changed it. Not because, you know, it was like a super OP strategy, because really, if you know Bowser's gimmick, he's already a lot weaker because you're not playing his game when he really wants you to be playing his game. So in a lot of respects, Bowser was a one-trick pony that relied too much on up B and relied too much on armor. So basically they said, okay, we don't like this about this character, we're gonna make some changes. And I remember always thinking, well, what the hell are they going to do with him? I mean, he's a very big character, a character with like bad frame data. Feels like he's destined to fail almost unless you give him like overpowered tools. And I don't know, to the credit, I feel like they did a good job by, you know, shortening his jump squad, making it so like, I mean, it sounds silly, but like doing this, just jumping around, this was like so much slower. And you know, if Fox came to you with like an option, you were already at a disadvantage because like to get an aerial, you have to like be in jump squad. And you were like fucking 7 frames of jump squad. It was ridiculous, it was too much. All of your options came out delayed because of that. So, you know, it was very frustrating in that sense. I'm glad they made him faster. They improved his frame data here and there, just made him like a generally faster character that is not as gimmicky. I mean, honestly, I can't complain. I think he's in a decent spot. I still don't know how to feel about like Bowser in today's environment. I still feel like he's a very read-heavy character, but I don't know. It feels like you could say that about any character at the end of the day, right? Reads are very important, and Bowser has some very strong ways to punish someone once you've already read them. There were some other things that I wanted to talk about. I find it interesting that when you do down B, you have a couple of frames of you know, very heavy armor on the startup, like before you even get up the ground. I've literally never used that in a game ever. I feel like in theory it has some uses, but I feel like it's very niche. It's like if you see someone coming towards you with a move, you can like tank it. But then what? I mean, you're already in the air, and you have to do something. Right? What are other things that are worth talking about? I mean, I think the changes to his side view were pretty cool. Oh, I think Fireball is maybe one very cute one. Flame Breath, or whatever it was called, was honestly like a very useful tool in certain matchups, and it actually went through a couple of iterations. It wasn't just like one Flame Breath across all of PM history and then Fireball. Before, I think on like before 3.5, Flame Breath could basically clash or clank with projectiles. So, you know, in like the Samus or like Luigi matchups, and of course like flame canceling was a thing, right? So you will like land right before, well, you will input Flame Breath right before you landed, and it would like throw it out instantly, right? And it had a lot of range, and it like you could literally like blank stemless missiles with that. It was honestly pretty insane, and it made those matchups a lot more bearable. He literally doesn't have that anymore. And Flame Breath is an interesting case because, you know, it's a tool that that was helpful in a lot of instances, but also in a lot of other instances just felt really gimmicky. It felt like this move that didn't really have like a lot of uses. And just the mere fact of like Bowser having Flame Breath made him a more polarized character, because once again you have like this heavy character that has sluggish movement options, and that particularly doesn't have a projectile, and in Smash having or not having a projectile is a huge deal. And you know, maybe if you're a very fast character that has like a lot of burst options, you can sort of like work around not having a projectile, but a character like Bowser not having a projectile is really rough. So if you're in a stage like Final Destination, sometimes there was nothing that you could really do, you know, like if a Falcon dash dances out of your like effective range, like every move is a fucking losing option, right? Like literally the only winning move is not to play at that point. To like try and get a read and like try to be reactive, which is ironic because, you know, Bowser has like some of the slowest options in the game, relatively speaking. I mean, look at fucking upper, look at backer, look at downer, even his good buttons or whatever, like up smash. I mean, these are still laggy moves. If you compare them to like fucking Fox or like any other fast character that has moves that come out in like frame 3, frame 5, where like the average, you know, the average, you know, time that the move comes out is like frame 7 or whatever. Bowser looks sluggish in comparison. He's not slow per se. He's just a slow character in a very fast game, generally speaking. But yeah, they changed a lot of things in that regard. It was pretty cool. They gave him a projectile with Fire Breath. I'm still like trying to figure out how to best use this thing. Sometimes, like if the person you're playing against knows what they're doing, they're always going to be on the lookout for Fireball. But you can almost argue by that point you've already won, because before, if someone was outside of your effective range, they could just stay there. Or like Fox or Falcon could just like pepper you with like blasters. There wasn't really much you could do. Simply by having a Fireball, you are making them play a different game every like 15 seconds, where it's like, okay, now I have a projectile. It's like this, I don't know, like blast cannon thing? I don't know. But like, it's like this thing where like, yeah, it's only one charge, and you get one charge every 15 seconds. But just having that option, even if you don't really use it, that impacts a lot how the game plays out, because your opponent has to be mindful of it. They have to be very mindful of their spacing. They have to be mindful to like be on the edge of their seat, so to speak. So I think that's one of the coolest things. It also has this property where like it goes down when you do the aerial version. It goes on like slight angle. I've struggled a little bit to like play with that. It's something that I'm still like trying to incorporate, but it's very useful. And also, one of the coolest things that I've been trying to mess more with as of late is that you can actually like use the explosion, the splash radius or whatever of like the explosion. I'm not sure if that's gonna work, but basically you can see that if that hits Phantom. Anyways, basically you can see that it like creates an explosion, right? I'm gonna try to time it right this time. 5 seconds or something. So, I mean, I'll try to do it right this time. I think that should work. So the actual fireball won't hit Lucario here, but the actual explosion does. I think that's huge actually, and I've been trying to like mess around with that a little bit more. because it's also this thing of like, well, they can't even power shield it because you're like hitting it against the stage. Maybe some characters can if they like really get on the very ledge and like power shield, but I mean it's much harder, right? And I don't know, it's just like a very strong move. You can use it to mix people up during your recovery. I think that's like the number one use that I gave for it. But I mean, there comes a time where it becomes a little bit too predictable, where like if you're in a certain position, your opponent can more or less know that, yeah, this guy's probably gonna use Fireball, and if they like stall the timer and you don't use Fireball, I mean you may be already in like a worse off position where they're gonna be able to edge guard you more easily. So sometimes you do have to go for like risky fireballs. Fireballs where technically your opponent will punish you, but you're like being careful about how you do it. Basically mixing them up, basically, is I guess what I'm trying to get at. I don't know, I think Flame Breath, well, Fireball now, I think it's a very interesting move, I don't know. I think it has a lot of potential that has yet to be tapped. I don't know, is that expression? Yet to be tapped? I mean, honestly, I still don't feel like I have it figured out 100%. That's exciting, you know, to have this brand new tool and trying to figure out what you can do with it. What are some other things that are worth going through? I mean, a B is like this fantastic option. Bowser's ledge game is just insane in general. So, I mean, it all starts, I think, with get up attack. That's the thing since melee, right? And it's just like this very strong move that covers like, I don't know, like a third of the stage. Like it's actually insane how much it covers. And it can really catch people off guard, it's really fast. I mean, let's time it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I thought that I let ship for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 6, 7, 8, 18 frames. But I mean, realistically speaking, they're not gonna react to that. The meta has evolved, and now a lot of people just crouch cancel. Like, if they're in this position and you're in ledge, they're just gonna crouch cancel your get up attack, and then they're gonna grab you and like, you're dead because you're Bowser. But it's still a tool that you shouldn't sleep on. It's very handy, and if you throw it out when people aren't expecting, I don't know, it can like be really oppressive, I guess. Just like a very useful tool. But that's not all Bowser has. Like I covered earlier, like his Gallant is insane. You can do, so basically, I think I also said earlier, down B is like, it has like heavy armor. I think the heaviest armor that doesn't become super armor by charging or whatever. And you basically have this option where you can down B onto the ledge, and you're basically going down onto ledge with an active hitbox that is actually really fucking strong. And I think the craziest thing is that you can literally combo into that. Like, I mean, depends on how nice this Lucarius DI is, but like, let's see if I can showcase it. Like, that's insane, dude. Like, you're hitting them with like, it's like hitting them with an F smash and then being able to like follow up with like an upper or whatever. I don't know, it's just really fucking strong. Bowser just on ledge is a very oppressive character with a lot of tools that like, a lot of times if Bowser's on ledge, you're better off just not approaching. I've gone against like some very good players that are very aware of like Bowser's limitations, or rather Bowser's strengths and how to play around them. I think one of the things that I began to see more and more as I you know, played with better people and generally as the meta evolved is, you know, people grabbing ledge when they think that you're gonna down B into ledge. That's like a very that's a freebie basically if you get the read right. But the crazy thing is Bowser's not even at a disadvantage there. There are many things that Bowser can do when he's in this position. Like, if you see that your opponent is committing to like if you see that they're standing here, like you can already tell, oh, they're gonna want to like, you know, get on ledge as soon as I down B. So if you're in this position, you can literally just like up B towards the stage. And even if they read that, I mean, depending on how fast the character is, depending on how committed they were to the previous play, I mean, they can hit you, sure, but I mean, not all characters can get like very strong confirms when you're in this position. You can DI out. And also, I mean, you have the classic mix-ups with like the Captain Falcon type mix-ups with like with the up B, where you like make it so that you're gonna make it seem like you're gonna go towards the stage and then like back away at the very last moment. You can down B at the very ledge of the stage, I mean. So you can basically do this, which is, I mean, it's a little bit situational, but sometimes it can surprise your opponent if they were really expecting you to like go towards the ledge. You can like, I mean, if you're dropping down, you can just like come down with a nair. You can come down with a downer, which covers some options. That's also one insane thing, like some recoveries like DK you can like cover basically automatically by doing down B onto ledge, basically on stage. Now, the meta has advanced a lot since like fucking 2015 or whatever, and of course people are better at recovering than they were before. So I don't know, I played against DKs that don't have that much of a hard time. So basically, if you time it right, I think that'll be a good percentage. 85? Let's do a forward two. Or you can basically do that, and it's like a guaranteed. Like, if they didn't space properly, if they waited until like the very last moment, that's a guaranteed kill. And it's such a strong move. Like, I think it might actually be comparable to how strong up B was before all of the nerfs. So Bowser's ledge game is just really impressive, you know. You can do almost all of your kit out of fill-in. You can do perfect wavelengths, which like cover a lot of distance. The reason I'm playing on Battlefield is because, I mean, generally I love Battlefield. Battlefield is just like a perfect stage for Bowser because of how the platforms are positioned. Their height off the ground, so you can do some really beautiful movement if you master your perfect wavelengths. I think I've been doing it without really like focusing on it. I mean, basically, there came a point where all I will do is just like get on PM, on training mode, on Battlefield, and just like practice all this really cool shit. You have some very strong burst options. You can do like this, and if you perfect waveland, hold shield and then shield drop, you can get quite a bit more momentum. So you can do something like that. If you delay your fur, you can like get really far. If you can do something like this one's a bit more difficult, but let's see if I can get it. You can basically, okay, maybe I can do it off like this platform. You can do like perfect waveland, then like shield drop. Yeah, that's too far, but basically you can do that off the top platform and like grab ledge. Let's see if I can get it. I can get it, I'm bad. It doesn't matter. But basically like when you have platforms, Bowser's movement game, I don't know, it's enviable, honestly. But of course, I mean, those are burst options and whatnot. You gotta be careful to not like overly rely on them, because yeah, there are very strong options that Bowser has. But if your opponent gets an idea of what you're doing, and like they see you repeating the same stuff over and over again, they're just gonna like wait for you where you're gonna land and like hit you with something. So Yes, very strong tools, you just gotta use them right, I guess. I don't know what to think, honestly, about current Bowser. He's a much faster character than before. He has a lot of good strength. He is... I guess if I were to use one word, it will be that he's more streamlined. Oh, I mean, one of like the biggest changes that I almost forgot to go over is literally Bowser was bigger, you know? And that had some advantages. I mean, literally, you could technically say that all of his hitboxes got smaller because Bowser's model got like, I don't know what it was, like 10% smaller or something. But like, Bowser was literally much bigger in like Brawl or whatever, and they made him smaller, which is like a bad thing because of what I said about like the hitboxes and stuff, but it's also a good thing because Bowser was so big that it was so easy to combo him. Like, you were such a big hurtbox like all the time, so you know, I think that was like a positive change, making him smaller, even if like that introduced some issues. I don't know. Bowser is a really cool character, very read focused, has some sick combo game, particularly on like fast fallers. You know, you can combo Fox, Falco, Falcon. You can combo the hell out of them, and even, you know, characters like Marth and Sheik, like they're relatively easy to combo, and you have a lot of options, I guess. I mean, fuck, even that is like so good. His perfect wavelengths are amazing, and you can do this thing where like you do like a short hop, and then you fast fall, and then perfect wavelength. It's kind of like a relatively tight input, but if you master it, and I mean, I don't use this very often in game. I try, but like sometimes I get it wrong. But like if you master this, like, oh my god, you can really surprise your opponent. I don't know, it's just a character with a lot of really cool tools I like. I think at the end of the day, I really like how he turned out, and I mean, I love Bowser, and I love figuring things out about him, you know? I feel like I develop a lot of like interesting concepts over the years, you know, because I've been literally playing this thing since like 2013. Bowser is a very interesting character with maybe a lot of depth that a lot of people won't necessarily realize that he has. But yeah, I don't know, he's really strong. Down smash is like a really powerful tool. So basically what I said earlier about like ledge dashes, for instance, and how you can like ledge dash straight down and not risk SDing. So, you know, when you're in like a Thedder situation, when you're doing like a textbook Thedder edge guard, let's say you, I mean, I don't know if I can like emulate it, maybe. Let's try with Ivysaur.
Ivysaur. Ready? Go!
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna go on Battlefield because I don't want the platforms getting in the way.
Ready? Go!
Let's do maybe 60, 70%? 85? So you... nah. 110? Oh, now you're gonna do no DI. Okay. I mean, I want him... Fuck off! But basically the point I'm trying to get across is that you can be here, wait for the Thedder, and then, well, okay, I inputted an F smash there on accident, but basically, once you have confirmed that they reeled into ledge, you can instantly like waveland down, like ledge jump waveland down. And you're in a very privileged position where you're basically actionable in this state, while the Feather character is like making a decision about where to go. They have about like 2, maybe 3 options depending on how you look at it. They can go towards the stage, they can wiggle back out and like go for another Feather, which they can do twice, I think. Or they can like try to like juke you out and like be like, oh no, I'm gonna go into stage, and then they like go back, like they slip back off the stage and grab ledge. But you literally have an option for all of those. A good catch-all option is down smash. So the moment you see them like reel back up, you waveland straight down and then down smash. If they're anywhere near that zone, they're gonna get hit by it. They don't get hit by it if they like have their stick like all the way to the right. In this instance, they're not gonna get hit by that. I mean, maybe if your timing was insane, maybe they will get hit by it, but no. But if you predict that they're gonna be doing that, you can just like basically, I mean, you have 2 options there. You can like, you can do this and then like up smash. That's a good option that could cover some angles. Or you like, you can just wait on ledge and then do this, you know. And if they're already at a high percentage, and particularly if they're like holding back, that could be fatal for them. So Bowser is actually in a very good position to like edge guard Tether characters, which I don't know if it's maybe like, technically Tethers are meant to be like disadvantageous in a sense, but I mean Bowser just has a lot of like really good options in that situation. But I mean, you can still miss it. I mean, if they go right into the stage and you go for a back air, there's your punish, like you didn't get it. And then if they like, I mean the opposite also applies, you know. So be it that you back air and they go in, or that you down smash and they go out and they just grab ledge next opportunity that they have. But I don't know, I think Bowser has the tools to like come out winning so long as he's patient, he has good reaction time, and he's also mindful to what the opponent is doing, you know? Because at the end of the day, you can still always get a read, and a read is always going to be easier to execute on than something that you do in reaction, because, I mean, you already know where they're going to go. You just go and stick your hitbox out there. I don't know, man. I really love Bowser. He's just like a very versatile character. Some stick movement options. Armor, I will argue in just the right places. Sometimes I miss, you know, the crouch armor was very helpful, but it was also, I can also see why they removed it, you know, it was a little bit toxic. You can also do some things like, I don't know if I can emulate it. I think I should be able to. So, this, no. Yeah. So basically, okay, that doesn't work. What are you doing again? How do I emulate this? Alright. Oh, okay. I got this. This came up in like certain matchups. Yeah, I think it doesn't work anymore. So basically, the crouch armor was strong enough that you could like tank multi-hits like that. You will use it in like the Zelda matchup, for instance, where like you could basically like tag this. I wish I could demonstrate this because it's like a very cool tag. I guess it doesn't really work anymore. You could basically like crouch the entire thing, and then when it came to like the strong part of the bomb, you will basically, you know, stay in crouch tank it out, and right before the strong hit came out, you will up B out of crouch. And if you did right, there's no middle frames, you know, where you're exposed. You go from having light armor or whatever to being in your up B. So if you did that right, you could like tank the entirety of a multi-hit move like that. Like Zelda's up smash, for instance. Just, I don't know, there are a lot of really cool tools that Bowser has. Really cool concepts you can apply. I really like. Maybe I can switch a little bit into like fast powers, perhaps.
Ready? Go!
Bowser has a pretty intimidating like Shingro. You do have to get a read because I mean it depends. Like for example, if Fox the ice out and you try to up smash, that's gonna miss. I mean the CPU doesn't have great DI or whatever, but that doesn't matter. Basically, like the guy has two options: they either DI out or they DI in, and you can always cover that with something. Like if they DI in, you actually have like a lot of options. You can do up smash, you can do up tilt, you can do I think at 0% you can recall. Well, I mean, if they DI out, you can do this, which is like really oppressive. I think if they DI in, the move is to like up smash or like up tilt, depending on the percentage. Also depends on like, sometimes you get a feel for when someone's gonna get hit by something. Like, you can sort of like get this feel of like, okay, they've already allowed themselves to be hit by this move. Like they're already like DIing basically because they already accepted that they're gonna get hit. And when you detect those instances, you can go for something a bit slower. Maybe technically isn't the combo, but you know, it can help you follow up, right? Could you do? Yeah, I mean maybe DIing. But yeah, this is really fucking impressive. You can basically keep chain grabbing, keep juggling, and then like the finisher is like your standard edge guard. God, Bowser has so many cool edge guard tools. I mean, it's an extension of how powerful and impressive his ledge game is. You can do stuff like, I don't know. You can go relatively far down. Yeah, that didn't work. But I mean, you can back her. You can even go a little bit low and back her, and then like up you back on the ledge. You can do, I don't know. You can do this. You can do this. Oh, it's a shame that you can't ledge right after that. Maybe it will be a little bit broken. No. You can do this. You can do this. Against faces, you can like. I think that's something I can show off. So like against faces, you can do you hit them, and then basically what that does, what that get up attack does, it normalizes the edge guard because you don't necessarily know what the other guy is gonna do. You don't know how he's gonna approach the recovery or whatever. But like if you hit them with that get up attack, and get up attack has weight based knockback, so it doesn't have any scalings. But basically like it puts you in a position where you can try again, I guess if I were to describe it in a certain way. And they are placed in a certain position where they basically have to like do this like risky up B towards ledge. You have really full control in that situation. I mean, it's not free. I mean, if they go for like a really like crazy angle, like you can still like miss them, particularly if you're already committed to like covering a certain angle or whatever. But Bowser has all of the advantage in the world there. And I don't know, get up attack is like this really cool way of being able to like normalize edgeguard setups because you already know they're gonna be in the same position after that, so you just like cover an option. And so long as you get the read right, it's basically free, you know. it's obviously a bit hard. It becomes a little bit harder when you actually implement other options, you know. That's the cool thing. Like it makes it so that your next edgeguard opportunity, it's from a place of advantage because they're under the stage, and you never want to be under the stage, generally speaking, in any Smash game when it comes to recovering. Unless you're playing Ultimate, because Ultimate is shit. But yeah, I don't know. I love how Bowser's tools are here in this way of like, you can really make it so that you're playing in your strong zone by using certain tools. The one thing about Bowser that I feel is problematic is that when you don't have platforms, his approach becomes kind of linear and it's not particularly good. You're basically gonna have to outplay your opponent in order to like get in, particularly if you're playing against someone fast like, I don't know, Falcon, Fox, Cersei, Samus, Lucas. You're kind of already playing from disadvantage because, I mean, when you're neutral, you can either like go to ledge, and yeah, you have this suppressive ledge game, but your opponent can just decide not to interact with you. And if they aren't stupid and they don't do that, I mean, that's already gonna be very difficult for you. Because basically, you don't have a whole lot of options to win neutral when you're in this position. Like, you can go for a read and dash attack. So that's very similar to what like Marth can do with his dash attack in the Fox matchup. But I mean, you do have the slight advantage that Bowser's dash attack does have armor. And I mean, it's also like a very, if you land it, like, it's very easy to get a confirm off it. But like, I mean, it's very risky, right? It's like, there's a reason why it's kind of like a typical beginner error for like Marth to like dash attack neutral. I mean, it's very risky and it can get you punished super hard. And you know, you can do like jabs and shit. His jab data has improved a lot compared to like previous iterations. But I mean, it's still, you're still like the slowest, one of the slowest characters when it comes to like jabs in general. Like, and particularly with that, like the evolution of crouch canceling, like the current meta. I mean, it doesn't matter if you get like a jab. Jabs are great for like getting your opponent out of like a certain tempo. Like you do jab to like mess up their windows and then like punish. But like people just are much better at like crouch canceling in neutral. So a lot of times, if you jab, if they crouch cancel that, you're dead basically. I mean, they can get a follow up on you. If you go for jab too, I mean, I think that's slightly better, but I mean, you're still operating at a disadvantage there. Like, Bowser has to play so careful. You can go for like, I don't know, you can go for like a dash grab, but it's basically, at that point, you're like, basically playing like Ganondorf, where it's like, if you win neutral, it's because you simply outplayed your opponent. And it can be frustrating. Now you have Fireball, which is nice, and I think it's generally like very important in current neutral. But it's not a catch-all solution. I mean, you're still gonna run into issues of like being in neutral and just simply feeling like there's nothing you can do that doesn't put you inherently at some risk. People say that technically about every character, but I mean, you know, there's risk and then there's Bowser risk, you know. And of course you can go for like a bouncy force mesh, you know, like a pivot force mesh read, if they're, you know, they're trying to like overshoot or whatever. But I mean, we go back to the same thing as before. It's like you just have to like outplay your opponent. In some matchups it's more playable, of course. I mean, if you're playing against the Ganon, you're gonna feel like you're gonna feel like you're playing a very similar game because both are basically trying to do the same thing. But a character like Fox, a character like Falcon, they're gonna try to like bait you into like using one of your like slow options and then punish you. And when you're at that level of the matchup, it feels like you can't do anything because anything you do can be punished. So it like leaves you in this state where it's like, shit, I don't even want to play, you know. or like I'm just gonna hope that if I grab ledge for like 2 minutes straight, they're gonna get frustrated and come in, and that's where I'm gonna get my follow-up. But I mean, you're already banking a lot on like your opponent simply making a mistake. In those regards, I still feel like Bowser is a bit of a flawed character. I think it's just very hard to like make a heavy and smash and make it work. You can do like the DK route, just make him like this super fast character, but like insane, you know, confirms up throws. But I don't know, I feel like you're always gonna struggle if you have like this sort of like big character that's supposed to like only hit you like once or twice, but happen to be like very impactful. You're always gonna have to make some compromises on that, basically. I don't know, I think those are some of the thoughts that I have on Bowser in general. Yeah, Bowser. How far we've come along. This video was completely unscripted, and I think I want to do more of that. I think I want to just... Oh god, I fucking hate that position. I want to just like put my thoughts out there and not feel like I have to like make it like be a certain way. I want to just like be able to talk about what I like. So this video is basically an attempt at doing that. I don't know, I hope you liked it, and maybe I'll do more videos like this in the future, because I mean, I generally like going over like the things that I know. It's also exciting to think that there's still much that I could learn, that maybe there came a point where like didn't think that there was more to Bowser, and I was like, I didn't really want to like find more stuff because I thought that I had already found everything. But of course that's kind of silly, like you can always learn something more, and I don't know, I think it's like an exciting journey, and I like, I don't know, I just like sharing that experience. So, you know, thanks for watching.